At 32, right, was I was like, whoa, okay. I'm so impressed. I'm a little like, Tokyo or New York?
Right now, Tokyo.
Oh, right now, okay. At Tokyo Union Church, he picks Tokyo, okay. So your book is, Art is a Journey into the Light.
Yes.
And here we're having an interview about Advent. And you talk about, in your book, I follow the stars to a vulnerable babe in a manger, warned to not follow the patterns of power. You've crossed cultures and even kings throughout your time, from the White House to Parliament. This Advent, where are you seeing small lights lead you through real darkness? And where did Christ last surprise you along the way?
So good. I wrote the book as a way of navigating and meditating through what I see and how art can actually access the most complex realities of the world, cosmos, and yet it has this pinpoint path toward beauty, truth, and goodness, which I found at the foot of the cross. And that passage of Magi following the stars, I have often thought of that as these Magi as artist seekers. You know, they were looking for meaning and beauty, perhaps even goodness, and they saw in these stars and the alignment, right, that allowed them to find baby Jesus. And along the way, of course, King Herod wanted to know where this baby was too, so he was trying to trick them into revealing that, and you know, the angels warned them not to do that, so they kept going. And being an artist in New York, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Taiwan, I mean, these places where oftentimes power and certainly finances and culture meet, there's a lot of ways that you can be distracted from that journey of following the stars. And I found it as part of my discipline to always check myself, but also have accountability with my wife and with others that care about me to really know what the motives are, to question myself if something is, you know, drawing me out of myself for whatever that may be, that it's not an idol of any kind. And then, but art always have confronted me to be truthful and allow me to create a language of its own that relies on vulnerability and presence. And so that's my saving grace as well. I don't, to me, art is not a way to create a lie. That's what Picasso said, you know, it's a lie to tell the truth. But I feel very much in this camp of art being prayer and worship. So that has kept me in the presence of the holy, honest,
Thank you. For the next one, I actually have a prop.
Okay.
And there's a little backstory. My good friend, I collect pottery.
Ah,
Okay, Japanese pottery in particular, and he broke.
yes. Yes, yes.
And he took the time
Yes.
to repair.
Yes.
As I think this is his first
Yes,
real time using
I
real
see.
resin
Yeah, there
and
you go.
gold. You write, and you're familiar with this technique.
Yes.
Our journey into the light is through brokenness and cracks. Art is a fragile tabernacle of hope in a desert of despair.
Yeah.
You've experienced as a survivor of 9/11 and many global griefs. You've spoken about beauty emerging through fracture.
Yeah.
What does kintsugi teach us about Advent and light breaking through the cracks, and a time when mending with gold changed the meaning of a break?
Yeah. Kintsugi is an art form that came out of Senno Rikyu's tradition of sado or tea ceremony, and it emphasized in his incredible courage to push against violence of his time, and his way to become a tea master was to not only be a Zen priest of influence, but to build relationships, trusted relationship with warlords and eventually shoguns, who consolidated the most bloodiest time in Japanese history, barring, of course, the Pacific War and Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So Rikyu pushed against feudal war single-handedly, it seems, and created this ritual of tea, ritual of peace, that emphasized the broken, the weak, the vulnerable. By doing so, he got in trouble because he was pushing against the dictatorial forces invading Korea by using a Korean noodle bowl, for example. And later on, when the disciples found important vessels broken, they did not rush to fix it as we would, or replace it with something new. But they found that brokenness, because of Rikyu's teaching, sacred. And there's more to this, which I won't go into, but there is a direct tie to Christian history and reality in Kyoto in the end of 1500s. And so kintsugi is an emblem of Rikyu's heart to wade into feudal war, conflicts, and impossible realities of fractures and pulverized lives. And the tea families eventually became very known for beholding the fractures. So before it, even when this is mended, they will sometimes take generations to just look at one piece and pass that on to the next generation. And that practice continues to today, but it's done by urushi masters, Japan lacquer masters. And urushi is very difficult to master, and I have a chapter on urushi, history of urushi. It is one of the most beautiful materials, but also one of the hardest crafts even in many Japanese crafts. And so it became an emblem of, by using urushi and gold, creating patterns rather than just making it invisible, to making the fractures invisible, so you can't see it anymore. And they, after beholding, they will see rivers and mountains, and they would imagine, activate their imagination to see if this pulverized remains or fractured elements can become an entire world into itself, right? So the act is not just to mend, to make new, and not just to make the kintsugi bowl more valuable than the original because of urushi and gold. Actually, urushi is more expensive than gold.
Gold, right.
So people don't realize that, but it is a medium of sacrifice, medium that the tree has sacrificed its life, because you can only get 1 ounce or less from one tree, and it is literally the blood of the tree that mends the fractures. So this has been an emblem for us to think about Japanese culture in general, but also what I do in Nihonga is to use pulverized pigments and medium of nikawa, which is animal hide glue, to have it bind, and it's a water-based technique, but it's also multi-layered. So you're layering sometimes up to 200 or more times, really to get at the point where you can start. So that has become a way for me to slow down, to behold, to seek within the fragmentation and pulverized realities something that is deeply embedded, saturated with meaning and future hope. But our part is to behold first, and to take our time, and often generationally, to mend, to make new.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
There you go.